Hey miners, today we're going to be checking out Proxmox. So let's get right into it. So we're over here at proxmox.com and we're going to be doing, this is like not a total how-to video, but how to install it, what's the overview look like, stuff like that, how to do the basic maybe configuration. We're not going to be doing like VMs and how to like set up all this stuff in this video. I'll probably do a future video in the future. So the first thing that you're going to need is, besides going to their website, is you're going to need, I prefer to use Rufus when I'm doing ISO images. I'll leave a link down for Rufus. It's similar to Balena Etcher, and this is what we're going to use to burn the ISO image to your USB, which brings me to my second thing you're going to need for this is going to be a USB stick. So I always have 32 gigs just laying around. I got tons of them around my house. When you come to their page here, right, you don't click on this subscription, VE, stuff like that, okay? The virtualization part. And this is what Proxmox will look like on your host system. It has a very similar feel to ESXi VMware. There is some subtle differences, but it's a pretty good general layout from what I can tell from the pictures. You can click here in the Get Started page, and it kind of goes over what you need. You're going to need to download the ISO image, so we're going to click that. We're going to download the virtual environment, and we're going to click ISO images. And then we're going to choose which installer we want to go with. I'm assuming we want to go with the most current. So let's just go with VE 7.2. So let's go ahead and click download. So we're back over here on the Get Started page. And look, the next thing it tells you you need to do is either boot from a USB or CD DVD, right? So obviously we're going to be using Rufus. So I'll leave a link down for Rufus. You have to use Rufus or Balena Etcher. They both burn ISO images to USB sticks. They're very common. We use them all the time for Hive OS, ESXi, Unraid, right? We use them for all these things. I've done several videos on how to install different ISO images. So you guys can check those videos out, but I will leave a link down for Rufus down below. So once you download Rufus, and you're going to want to open it, it's going to look like this, right? So first, we need to plug in our USB stick. So once you pop in your USB stick, it will show up here in Rufus. You can see on the D drive here, it says 32 gigs. That's exactly what my, how big the USB stick is. Now we need to select the disk image. We're going to do the Proxmox ISO. We're going to click open. And you're just going to click OK. So now let's go ahead. It's ready to go. We're going to click start. It says all the data on the device is going to be deleted. It's just letting you know that if you have other information on the USB stick, to click cancel, save it, back it up, and then try again. But if you're fine with everything being deleted, go ahead and click OK. So once you get this green ready sign, it is good to go. We can close it out. The image was successfully burned. So now we are good to go. So now we need to actually plug this into our host system, which is a spare computer I have. It's a Dell Optiplex. It's nothing fancy, but we're just going to use it for testing purposes today.
Fluxpools.net would like to announce a new weekly lottery for loyal miners that support their project. As you might already know, Fluxpools is operated by the people from the Flux team, as they want to provide a safe and transparent mining experience. While the Flux project does not take directly from the pool, they do give a portion of the fees back to the Flux project because they understand that both the project and the miners are what makes this pool possible. Fluxpools has given away nearly 5,000 Flux a month back to miners. The new Flux lottery gives 5 lucky winners $50 each in Flux each week when you have a 95% uptime on your rig. There will also be a bi-weekly winner who maintains 99.5% uptime. That winner will receive 1.7 kilosouls of hash rate for 48 hours to their wallet. Fluxpools has also announced a 0% mining fee and 1% parallel asset fee forever. This on top of the weekly loyalty program. You can also earn up to 3 Flux per week. That giveaway prize will be sent directly to the mining address and nowhere else. Furthermore, FluxPools.net has just launched a Neoxa pool with a miner loyalty program where you can earn up to 1,000 Neoxa for up to 1 gigahash each week with 0% mining fee for the first 30 days. Please do not mine directly to an exchange as your rewards may be lost as a result. Come see why FluxPools.net is a great place to mine.
All right, miners, we're on the garage. I did try to get the OptiFlex to work, but I think the power supply finally took a shit. So no power at all. Everything's plugged in correctly. Nothing at the power button. Yeah, she sat for quite some time. I was trying to spray paint it, and I was gonna, you know, cut a window out for my kids and stuff. But that thing's really old. It's a i5 2500 with I think 12 gigs of RAM. So it's old. Will not turn on. I think the power supply finally took a dump. So so I got my CPU mining rig down here, so we're gonna test it on it. I took the hard drive off so this way, in case something has to get installed, because I don't know if Proxmox runs from the USB or installs itself onto the disk. So just in case, I took off my CPU mining rig hard drive. So I have my keyboard here because I'm gonna have to get into my BIOS, and I have the my little 7-inch screen here. So let's get it turned on, see what she does. So we're obviously gonna mash the delete key here, just because I know I don't want it to boot into anything. So we're in the BIOS. Let's go ahead and we need to go over to boot. We want it to boot from the USB. And I'll put, yeah, that should be fine. So, oh, no, don't quit yet. There we go. Save exits and change. All right. And I have the Proxmox plugged in right here and the USB port. So we should see something here any minute. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's actually a very nice little install page they have here. So I'm going to install Proxmox. So it looks like that this is not like Unraid, that this is like ESXi, I believe, that it's going to install itself onto the hard drive. So, oh well, if I had a mouse, I guess that would have been good, huh? Agree. Proxmox installer partitions the hard drive. Please verify that the target hard drive. Okay, yep, that's good to me. Next. Yep. We're in America, English. Oh, whoa. Okay, now we need to set a password. So we're just going to put test 1, 2, 3 test. So once you put in your email address and everything like that, it looks like the now here is something very interesting. Some of this will get blurred out, but it looks like it needs to have a DNS server of some sort, right? So I'm not sure about this. It wouldn't let me pass this stage without setting up a DNS server with a valid host name right here. So not sure why that is. And then this is like a summary of everything, and we're gonna hit enter again, and we're gonna let it do its thing. So once the system is done installing, it will tell you, it'll tell you right here to take out the USB stick. So we're on a reboot right now. It has finished installing. So we're finished installing right now. As you can see, Proxmox is booting up. Okay, now that we have it booted up here, I should be able to remote in right here at 10.3 or 10.10.3.12. You know, on port, looks like 8006. So let's go ahead and let's try to remote into this and see if we can't get access. All right, miners, we're back at the computer here. And as soon as you type in the address here, which you need to also put the HTTPS semicolon forward slash, and then do the IP address with the port number, and then you'll be greeted with this. So the default login is going to be root for the admin, and then the password we did make, it was test123. So we did that in the installation. So root will be the default admin login. So you do not have a valid subscription for the server, blah blah. Okay, yeah, that's fine, whatever. So don't be bothered by the subscription. It's for like their backup services and all that stuff like that. Don't worry about that. You don't need that. So now that we're actually in Proxmox now, just for the sake of doing it here. So we have our storage, right? There's the local LVM, and then this is our actual storage. So it's using, it says about 9%, so almost 10%, and this is 120 gigabyte SSD. So it took about 12, not quite 12 gigs, about probably 10 gigs to load. So it's relatively small. Now let's start going over some of these things. Oh wow, this is great, guys. I mean, we could see our CPU usage with the percentages. This is obviously a 5900X, so it has 24 threads. You can see the RAM usage, hard drive usage, the spikes, and everything like that. I like the graphs. They're pretty detailed. So I do kind of like this overview a little bit better than ESXi. So let's try to create a VM, and let's just give that a go. We're not going to get too into Proxmox today because there's obviously a lot of things to go over with. On this particular program, it would take hours. But let's just try to create a VM data center, and then we're going to click create VM. Okay, now we're going to give it a name. We're going to call it test. We're now going to choose our iOS file that we uploaded. Going to click next. We're not going to use a graphics card, but we want the C BIOS. So we're going to click that and then click next. Then we're going to go to SATA, and we don't need it to be backed up. We're going to click next. CPU, we're going to do 10 cores. And then we're going to click next. Memory, we'll give it, I don't know, a random number. About 47 gigs of RAM. And here, look at this. On the networking, we can limit this to, 65 megabytes per second. We're going to click next. We're going to click confirm. And there it is. Okay, it seems like I gave it a lower amount of RAM, and now the VM is actually started up. So it should be booting on right now, and we should see Ubuntu server start loading up. And there we go. So this particular hypervisor, if you guys do not know, this hypervisor is for free, and it doesn't cost you anything, right? You don't need to have the subscriptions. That's just like extra bonus add-on stuff. You guys don't have to buy that. You guys could just run this as it is, like I am right now, and it's 100% free. So if you guys are on a tight budget, or you don't want to spend money on this, Proxmox might be the answer for you. All right, guys, this is the Money King giving you the most hashes, and I'll see you next time.